Hey everyone, it's autumn, a time for harvest festivals and family reunions. And if you're planning on getting together with your family, you should protect yourself and them by getting an updated COVID vaccine. If you're 50 or older, you're at greater risk for hospitalization and death, especially if you have a chronic disease. So get an updated vaccine now. Need more information? Talk to a doctor. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
That's Zach Lubin listens.
Yeah.
I listen to like 1 1/4.
We should talk really slow then. So
Here we go.
Sounds normal.
You're listening to the Janchi Show, hosted by 3 Korean American adoptees diving headfirst into what it means to be adopted, Korean, American, and more. And now, here's your hosts, Nathan, Patrick, and KJ.
Welcome back to the Janchi Show. It's your boys, KJ, Nathan, and Patrick, coming at you with a high energy episode.
You're coming in hot.
That was a little facetious. How you doing, guys?
Evening recording.
Fine.
Patrick was counting on his hand. What?
I don't think he was counting. He was definitely
I was just
hand
making signalings. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed and tired, and yeah, I don't know. I think just the feeling of you're going to Korea in 1 week has really hit me because I think I've just been kind of putting it off. We can talk about that later. But yeah, I don't know. Just feeling, I feel a little bit better than I did at about 2 p.m. I'll say that. So, and I just got to shout out.
You feel better than you did 6 hours ago.
Yeah, that's true. As of this recording 6 hours ago. But I got to shout out my people because they helped me with that. So, yeah.
And you're leaving on Saturday.
No, I'm leaving on next Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay.
Same thing.
Close enough.
And then I get back the following Monday.
So by the time you hear this episode,
I will be in Korea.
Yeah, you will be in Korea.
No, I should be in Korea.
Yeah.
Because this comes out on
next week.
Oh, wait. Yeah, next week. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like 24 hours of travel.
Well, no, we leave on the 11th and we arrive on the 12th. So, wait. Yeah. Wait.
Sure.
I'm just saying, experientially,
I don't know.
I felt like it was like 24 hours.
Sure.
Maybe like a little bit
sure
less.
It's gonna feel. I'm sure it's gonna feel like that.
Yeah, it's like 18 hours of travel. I don't know.
Yeah, I think anytime you spend more than 3 hours on a plane, I feel like it feels like it could be 24.
It's interminable.
If you have to have more than 3 meals on a plane, it's a long flight.
Yeah, when they serve you literally every meal, that's a long flight.
Yeah. Honestly, if you
I had
serve
2
you
breakfasts
one
on
meal,
this flight. What the heck? What's going on? Although, as we all remember, the first time I had ever had bibimbap was on an airplane through Korea. So,
yeah, but they said that food there is really good on the Air Korea flights.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
much better than the American airlines. Sure, which
always is.
Most of those don't even give you food anymore, right? So,
do they?
Yeah,
Do they not?
Bistro boxes,
pretzels, and some water.
Oh, that's a bummer. When I flew Singapore Air.
Ooh,
Singapore Air.
That was nice. It was fancy. It was real nice. Even in economy, I was like, "This is economy, dang! I can play a full game of Pokemon Red on their little console." And like 2007 or something like that.
That's fun.
Like, this is incredible.
Huh. So it made the time fly.
It did. And then my mom was angry at me. She was like, why didn't you... I was a preteen. She's like, why didn't you sleep? I was like, Mom, I was playing Pokemon. What are you talking about? Why didn't I sleep? I got further than I did when I could save the game. I just had hours upon hours of unadulterated video game time. It was incredible.
That's true. You did get off the plane and were very sleepy. If I'm remembering your story correctly, right? Or were you sick? Mm-hmm. No, it was sleep.
Sleepy, and you fell asleep like at breakfast or dinner or something like that.
Oh, no, that was Brandon.
Oh,
was it Brandon that did that?
Brandon fell asleep in his noodles.
Into the food. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I put that on you, but that was definitely Brandon.
I mean, I
friend of the show.
Wouldn't have put it past me. Yeah, no, I just remember we got there. I wonder if this will happen to you too. we got there and then we were immediately taken to a hotel conference room for dinner. Like big banquet style dinner. There was like duck eggs and japchae, and that's really all I remember. But I was just like, oh my God, I'm tired. And all I wanted to do was go to sleep. And they were just like pulling on all the stops and being very welcoming. And I was just like, literally, it's like 10 p.m. in Korea time. Why are we still doing all this business? I just want to go to bed. And yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, most of us should be getting in around like, I don't know, between like noon and 4. And then you have to test, and then there's like a thing that starts at 5, like a dinner ceremony or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm not 100% sure. But before we talk about all of that, for any new listeners that have joined us, this is not normally how we start the show, but it kind of is sometimes.
It's mostly how we start the show.
It's not the way we start the
if
show.
this is your first time listening, this is a podcast where all 3 of us are Korean adoptees, and we talk about stuff that has to deal with that. And we're called the Janchi Show because Janchi in Korean means to feast, and we like to feast at the end of our shows on snacks or food or sometimes drinks. And we like to do that in celebration with each other, sometimes a guest, but not today. It'll just be myself and Nathan and KJ. I don't know why I just slowed down, talked like that, but
and mostly
where
it's
I'm at right
Korean
now.
Snacks, except for a couple times.
It's generally Korean snacks, a couple German ones. I think we had a few Japanese snacks.
When's we had a German snack?
I think we had a German snack, like a
I bought a
wafer
few
or
snacks that I was going to send you, and I looked at the back of them, and it said product of Taiwan, and I was like, darn it. And I was like, I think I should still send it anyway.
But if you're new here, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And that's what we're kind of currently doing right now, because I'm getting ready to go back to Korea, and we were just sharing a little bit about that. So on that, so back to the arrival for the trip, though, I did finally see the like broken down itinerary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and most of it, I mean, it's pretty heavy in like the mornings, but by noon, it seems like you're free to go. I think there's 2 days where there's stuff that's planned that we can attend, but for the most part, I think you're able to just kind of be free and do what you want to do. So, kind of excited for that.
That's cool.
Be free.
Can you explain to the listeners who may not have heard what is this OKF adventure, and why are you going?
Great questions. I don't know if I'd call it an adventure, but OKF stands for the Overseas Korean Foundation. It is a program instituted by the Korean government that is just essentially is resources that allows people, Koreans who live overseas, to come back. And this particular trip that I'm going on is one specifically for Korean adoptees. So I believe there's 150 of us. I don't know. I can never remember exactly if that's the number or not, but they got invited to come back, and I happened to be one of those people because I applied and got in, even though
one of the chosen,
by the skin of my teeth. And yeah, so we go back, and we're there for 5 days. Have a chance to explore Seoul. I don't know really. I don't think that there's any like set plans to go anywhere else on the trip specifically. Like I'm assuming we'll be able to do that in the afternoons, but there's like different classes of stuff that was offered to partake in like cultural activities, and some meals planned as well. But yeah, that's kind of it. And I'm going back because, yes, I was chosen to go. But at the end of the day, this is not technically how I wanted to return to Korea for my first time. But speaking to that feeling of being overwhelmed, I have a lot of stuff going on in my life right now. And that will probably only increase as I move forward in life. And I felt like this was an opportunity to go back. So part of the resource thing is that they provide you flight and hotel reimbursement to stay. So for a lot of people who maybe not be able to financially afford to go, like this is an opportunity to do so. And so that's cool. But
for sure,
I have other feelings, so it's fine for the newer people that are here.
We've talked a little bit about it in the past episodes with the hesitations of owning your own story and what to expect, of course, while you're there. Are there things that I know they have planned schedules? You said you saw that. What things would you like to do outside of that schedule? Is there anything that's on the top of your list?
Sleep, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. That's what a lot of people have been asking me lately, and I really have I'm going to be honest. Like, I've not been thinking about this trip very much since we got accepted to go. Like, I didn't put too much thought into like the classes, so I missed the sign up period for the classes to do the ones that other people I know are going to be participating in. And I don't know. I just feel like there's been so much going on, I think, and something in my mind has just said, I don't want to think about this right now. And now I think that's, again, why I've been feeling so overwhelmed today is because I think all of that kind of came flooding in. And I was really like all day just thinking like, oh shit, I'm really going back. Like, and we're having like a lot of big meetings at work this week. And that's like all I was thinking about while I was at work. I'm just like, oh, man. And I'm just like, is this really what I want to do? Like, I thought that a lot today. And I don't know, I was just worried. And so because I've been, to answer your question, no, I don't really know specifically. The thing that I really want to do outside of the trip is to gather with all of the people, one, that I know who are going on this trip, who I've known previous to knowing that we're going on this trip. And then two, the people who are going to be there who are not going on the trip, but for some reason there's like 20 people that are going to be there. Like Hayshill's going to be there. The Dollins are going to be there. A few other friends that I know are also going to be there. And so I'm just like, I was like, this is the time to go back to Korea, I guess. And everybody's there. So I'm really excited and looking forward to being able to do that and be together with people that I know or already have a pre-existing relationship with. And then like what Hayshell said, being able to exist. I just want to be able to like kind of just go out one day and just be and not really think about anything else, because I feel like I'm going to be thinking about everything else. And my biggest fear is that I don't have enough time to be there. And then when I come back to be debriefed, because I come back, I go to work for 2 days, then I fly to Dallas, then we do the live show. And then I come back from that and we're supposed to close on a house that we just bought. And it's just like in the site, and it just like doesn't stop. And that's why one of the reasons I think I've been feeling, again, overwhelmed is because it's just like, I've been putting off like dealing with this or reckoning with it. And now it's like, oh, you're going. And you need to be prepared. And it's just like, I feel unprepared, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really long-winded way to answer your question of what are you going to do outside of the tour?
And say, I don't know.
I don't know. And here's why.
Literally no idea.
It's a good thing that it is planned and you don't have to plan anything if you don't want to. I mean, that's actually,
that is a positive,
a huge positive of going. And you can't, don't feel like you're going to waste your money because you're, it's being sponsored. So that's great.
I should be given
I think it's interesting though, like, yeah, because I get like this feeling of you have of all this cognitive dissonance of being like, I don't know if this is the way I want to do it. I don't know if I, any of that. But I also wonder too if it's not just like knowing your story and knowing your backstory. I wonder if it's not even like just partially like your own internal hangups that are coming to the surface because you're going back. And so you're like, well, I have to reckon with this. And like, because you didn't plan it, you're like somehow like more required to go. Or if you're like, I think if knowing you'd be like, yeah, I'm just not going to do this, like whatever, cancel. I'm going to back out. But like, because you have people who are going with you, people who will, not like be waiting for you per se. They're not like going to Korea to greet you, but like people who will be there, who will be waiting to like, and wanting to meet up with you, those kinds of things. Like there's more like social contract, I think, for you to be there. So, but I get kind of the doubleness of like, this is a lot. This is not ideal timing. This is not ideal situation. This is not, whatever. And just internally, like, and I'm going back and I have to like, I mean, it's your first time back. It's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I think you're in a place where you can recognize that that's a big deal. And so you have like space to deal with all these feelings. Whereas like, for me, if I don't know, was a different kid, I would probably just would have been angry the whole time. And people would be like, why are you angry? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not hungover, jet lag. Leave me alone. It's the same feeling from what I can just discern.
I mean, that's a good point too. I mean, after the last 2 years of, doing our show and just the past experiences you've had over the time of discovering, more about adoption and everything like that, it's probably going to be a different feeling than it would have been if you'd gone 3 years ago on the kind of the exact same trip.
For sure.
Yeah, which is a great segue to this voicemail that we're gonna play, which is actually like I didn't anticipate it, but it works out very well. So anyways, I want to play the voicemail, that way we can keep talking.
Hey guys, so I thought of a question when I was listening to that last episode. We hear a lot of stories where people are not making their first trip back to Korea until they're adults with 20, 30, 40 plus years of life experience under their belts. KJ, I know, had a different experience though, where his first trip back was when he was younger. My question is, if each of you could wave a magic wand, would you have wanted to go back when you were younger, or in KJ's case, would you rather have not had your first trip until you were older? Okay, that's my question. Have a great one. Bye.
And scene.
Yeah, good question.
Thank you to whoever asked us that question.
Thank you, caller.
I am going to go first so I don't lose this thought. I don't know if I could. It's hard to answer if I could wave a magic wand, would I go back younger? Because I think it's two different stories. I think to Nathan's point of like, it would have been different 3 years ago. Yes, I would have going back to Korea just to go back to Korea. No ulterior motive. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not just a return to Korea. Like, there's so much other stuff that's been unpacked and uncovered in my own life that is informing and influencing and dictating how I think about going back. And then when I'm there, I'm sure is going to be weighing on me. And again, driving, influencing the things that I'm thinking, how I'm acting, how I'm interacting. And I don't know. I don't know if I would rather go back and I don't want to call... The only thing that came to my mind was shroud of obliviousness. That feels like super harsh, but like, I guess the fog is essentially. Yeah, being naive. I don't know if I would rather do that and experience Korea that way and then deal with whatever uncovered trauma that would probably bring up going back in that manner, for me personally, or if I would rather go the way I'm going now or even on a different trip. And again, that's like my whole hang up with this particular trip is because it feels very out of my hands. It feels like I'm not necessarily going back. I'm being brought along on another person's journey. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's part of mine per se, but I don't know. I guess maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I wave the magic wand, which one I would rather be. I think it's like it's a coin toss for me. Sorry, I didn't answer your question, caller. I apologize, but
no,
it was both.
You said it's both and neither.
Both and neither, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. When I went back when I was younger, that was definitely pre-adoption apocalypse. And going back this time would be post-adoption apocalypse. So it definitely feels different. Because there's just more context to like who I want to be as a Korean. Even, I mean, we spent the past 2 years essentially I've spent the past 2 years on this show trying to work out loud who I want to be as a Korean American or as an American or just like a human being. And going to Korea now, I would want to work out not even who do I want to be as a Korean, but just who am I as a Korean? And it reminds me of one of our earliest episodes with Minju and talking about like when you talk in Korean, everything just kind of falls into place because of the honorifics and all those kinds of and the rhythm of conversation. You just you get in line real quick. And so there's I don't even know. I've never been in the line before, so I don't know how to stand and how do people queue in Korea,
right?
So yeah, there's definitely a difference to it, and there's I also would go, I think, into Korea eyes more wide open around the general culture of Korea, because at this current moment in time, we've seen so much pop culture come out of Korea that on the one hand is a celebration of being Korean, and on the other hand is a real indictment of Korean systems and their own society. Like when you think about Parasite, and you think about Squid Game, you think about like a couple of shows like that. And so I think that it is like it's really easy to watch a TikTok about like what it's like to live in Seoul and be like, oh wow, Korea's so cute and how wonderful. But then like if you watch like Squid Game, you're like, wait, why was this created as a particular social commentary? You watch Parasite and you're like, why was this created as a particular social commentary? And then I think you just go with, I mean, generally your eyes are more wide open the older you get, unless you deliberately keep your head in the sand. But I think I wish I would have gone like when I was a little bit older to actually properly answer the question, because like when I went in the summer of my seventh grade year, it was my second trip overseas. My first one was to Germany, and this was my second one. And there was just a like, wow, travel to it all.
Sure.
And so it was like, wow, Korea, because travel. And I think if I was a little bit older, like my second, quote unquote, second time going to Disney World, I was a senior in high school. And so there was a moment of like, I'm still young enough to like really enjoy all the magic, but I was also old enough to see the production and see like the thoughtfulness and all those kinds of things. And so that was like peak time, like experience nostalgia, but also experience just like pure unadulterated wonder and those kinds of things all in one kind of trip. And so I think like for me, maybe somewhere in that like 18 to 22 would have been ideal. I think I got married in that time period. No, I got married at 23. So, but still like in that, I think college age would have been like ideal. So maybe a little bit older, but I appreciated going when I was younger. And pre-apocalypse is definitely a trip that is unique to post-apocalypse, whatever age that finds you.
Would you guys prefer to add on to the question? Would you prefer to go alone?
How dare you?
How dare you ask a follow-up question?
That is rude.
What is this, a podcast?
What is this, your own show? You can just do what you want, your own show?
All right,
I'm taking liberty. Would you prefer to go with your significant other or alone?
It's a good question. Emily and I had conversations about that, and I will say to her credit, like I've been talking to her about this, like feeling like there's not enough time. I've been talking about it online too, but just like with her. And the other day we were talking about it, and she asked me, she's like, well, should you extend your trip? She's like, I can't because I don't have any more days to be able to teach. And I go teach these kids.
Go to Dallas and
that's what I said. I have to go to Dallas, obviously, but I was like, for a second, I was like, oh shit, maybe I should do that. Just because it's a fear. But right now I'll say even then, but right now I'm very happy that she is going with me because it's just an extra layer of support. I know myself, and I know I'm going to need not necessarily the familiarity, but just the unique thing that she brings to my life that allows me to go through like a lot of this shit that I've been going through. And so, I'm happy that she's able, like this lined up perfect. And that's another reason to go. It's like it lined up perfectly for her to be able to join me on this trip particularly. And I think it will be beneficial for me. So I am glad that she's going with. In a different scenario, I don't know. Because we've talked before about, I originally really wanted to go on my own and not necessarily go with anybody else. And I don't know if that was maybe would have been the right way to do it. But like even with her, like I don't really necessarily want to go back with my family the first time either. Like I was very hesitant to that idea when it was brought up several times over the last 5 years.
Whoa.
And I'm just like,
emphasis added.
But I mean, it's not that I don't want to go with them. It's just I need to, especially now, I need to experience that first, I think, because I don't know what my reactions are going to be. And especially were I to go like with my family, I feel like you really have to compartmentalize all of that because you're with them too, and you're not trying to like hurt them in any way or make them feel uncomfortable because you're just emotional the whole time. And it's like, well, whatever, like maybe not even thinking about going on a specific journey when you go back. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm glad that long story short, I'm glad that Emily is going with me. And yeah,
Emily, we want you on the show.
Emily, we want you on the show. KJ,
what do you think?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, I want to go with Sarah because she and I have both gone separately without each other.
Right, this is the last last box to check.
Yeah, it would be nice to go together. It would be nice to go on my own. And I think, there is a type of grounding that Sarah represents for me, and a rooting that is important. And at the same time, going on my own, I know that, like, I wouldn't have to. I think, like, if I went with Sarah, my mind would be in like I need to make sure that I'm looking after her, make sure that she can, like, now, like, just doing things that a husband does for their wife, that a good partner does for their other good partner, equally good partner, maybe is the way to say that. Trying to degenderize my life.
Same.
Debinaryize my life. It's fine. I talk good. I have a podcast. So it's just like, I don't know, like there's extra weight to having another human being with whom you've dedicated your life to go with you. Even I think if the three of us went together, like that would be its own type of rootedness and its own type of burden,
Sure.
And
be pros and cons.
Yeah. And so I think, like, there, on the one hand, like, you absolutely do need that, like, that extra weight and that tethering. And on the other hand, like, if I were to fly solo, like, that might be nice, or that might be too untethering, and I might just like not drift into nothingness, but you know what I mean? Like, it might become like aimless and like kind of get lost in my own whatever. I don't even know, And so, so it's just, there's just so much to think about. And I don't know that there's like a right way to do it. And it's like, you only get one time, you only get one time to go on your own, one time to go with a loved one time to go with your family. Like, and each time, like they all flavor each other. And so I think that's a hard thing so you just have to do it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, theoretically, I'm like, these are the ways with which my mind could potentially work. And I think you just have to walk each road as it comes.
Yeah, I think the same. I think very similarly too. And before Nathan slyly snuck in a follow-up question, he did not answer the question himself. So Nathan, I'm curious to know, if you wave the magic wand, what would you choose?
I will answer both questions. The magic wand question,
it's going for the double,
and my own question. So it was a really good question, because back in 2007, I decided to quit my job and go to Australia for 3 months. And I backpacked through Australia, and it was an amazing experience. It was a good transition in my life. It was a time that I had built up funds to do it. Why did I go to Australia? Well, it was on my bucket list. It was a place I wanted to go. I had family there. Yeah,
it was the Outback, baby.
There's a lot of
shrimp on the bobby. Oh my god!
I don't know. Is that Australian racist or just stereotype?
I think it really is.
No, that's just Outback's marketing. Outback Steakhouse.
But so here's the question. So I did that. I didn't think about going to Korea at the time. None of that was even on my mind. However, if I had chosen to do Korea at that time instead, what would I have done as far as discovering my biological family? Because I didn't reach out to find my biological family until 2015. My biological mother, passed away in 2011. So if I had changed my plans, I would have had a chance to meet her. And that's kind of heavy.
Well,
I never thought about
your
that.
Plans and you had decided to reach out.
Right.
There's probably a world where, like, you would have gone, but like not even thought to reach out to your family.
Sure.
Or,
In the multiverse, there would have been two different
in
outcomes.
The multiverse.
Me choosing to do the search early and going, or not choosing to do the search and just going to explore Korea. But yeah, when you think about that, like I technically could have met my mom, and that's crazy. So, but I mean, would I have been ready? This was pre-Allison. This was me on my own. I think I made the decision to go to Australia because that was my priority. That was what I wanted to do. And to force myself to do something that at that time I didn't want to do, would change my personality, change my whole life, maybe. Who knows? So yeah,
there's another Nathan Noack walking around out there.
Potentially.
Not in this universe.
He's also
in
the
another
other
universe.
multiverse. Yes.
In another
No,
universe.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Well,
also
we
the
can-
Asian one.
We can do the Back to the Future theory as well too. But so yes, would I have chosen that? Possibly. If I could wave the magic wand and if I was ready in my mindset. I don't know if I was in that mindset.
I have a follow up before you answer your own follow up because you did it. Because you did it to us.
Oh, you're slipping in your follow up before my follow up.
First off, thank you for sharing that because I feel like we just talked about you backpacking in Australia not too long ago. I don't know if it was on an episode or if it was just us talking. But I never thought about that. If you would have made that decision then, I mean, has that been something that you've? I don't know, like what? That's kind of hard. I can't quite grasp the articulation of the question. I don't know, like what are so? I mean, obviously that question, what the caller asked, elicited this thought. Is this something that you've been thinking about, or have you thought about that before? And what are you
when I met my biological family in 2015 or sorry 2017 because I found them in 2015. I'm 14, I guess. Met my sister for the first time when she came here 2015, and then I went to Korea 2017 and met the rest of the family. This is all still fairly recent, 5-6 years ago. And I'm definitely a different person than I was 11 years ago when I'm switching jobs and feeling all free. But yeah, it's like I said, it was pre knowing my wife, and I was just a single guy traveling to a place that I wanted to see. So, looking for family was not on my radar at that time. But then after meeting my family, I'd say in 2017, having my own family at that time, and that's actually when my firstborn had already come out. So he was here, and it made me think about family, I think, more as well while I was there. And having that connection with my son, I don't know, it brings up different memories, different thoughts, different regrets, different things that, you go, well, I kind of wish I had done something, knowing the outcome, of course, because, 2007, I had no clue what the outcome would have been if I had even searched for my family. So.
Yeah. How are you feeling right now? I mean, just vocalizing that, because you said right after you said it's heavy, and it is heavy to think about. Like, that's a huge what if question, and not one that we all get to think about very often. Are you okay? How are you feeling just even having vocalized that?
No, it's like you said, it's heavy. It's one of those thoughts that I've thought about in the past, and I've I vocalized it verbally or in writing last year. During
yeah.
And when I wrote it in my Instagram, and it's a thought that's always there. So I don't know if it's the one thing that's probably the heaviest thing about meeting my biological family that makes me wish I had done it sooner. But at the same time, I don't know, would I have been ready?
Sure.
So, do I just go with fate and go with the way that it played out because I still have, met my siblings and have a good, minimal relationship, I guess, online with them, but still, I've got to meet them so many times and hung out with them. So, happy that has come out, of the the situation. But so I don't know. I don't want to use the word I'm grateful for what I get is what I get, but at the same time, I'm like, this is what happened, and I can't really change it. So
right. I mean, you understand it's a different life that you have now than what could have potentially happened, and it's not one or the other.
Who knows? I mean, what if I had decided to meet that? This is the Back to the Future theory. What if
he met his family or his parents, but the Janchi Show was never started?
Yeah, never started.
What if he drove a DeLorean 88 miles per hour and went back into time?
I would have never met Allison.
Oh, okay. So that laugh actually made me think that we have to go back to the actual follow-up question, because you just mentioned Allison again. You did just mention Allison again. Wait, what was the follow-up? Do you want to go back with her?
My significant other for the first time.
Yeah.
I agree with what you said, Patrick. Actually, it has both what's the word? Not pros and cons, but it has its moments where I can see where it would be beneficial, and other times where it might distract me. So the one thing that I think I would say is yes, I would like to bring my wife. I was kind of sad that I couldn't bring her actually for the first time when I did go in 2017. I wish I had been able to bring her, but she, this was my son was just 1 at the time, I think, so almost turning 1. He was just too young to bring a baby that far. In my mind, I thought, no, this, because I didn't even know where I was going. And going back to your question or your statement of going to Korea for the first time and not having control, I kind of didn't have control either. All I knew was I was showing up at an airport and my family is going to be there and they're going to take me somewhere. And they kind of just said East Coast, and so I was like, okay, that's all they told me. I didn't, and nothing else was really translating.
Did you exchange pictures at that point?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
I was just like, I don't know, some group of Koreans is gonna spirit me away. You were like, I hope you're my family.
I know. Are they holding a sign up in the airport? It says both Nathan Nowak and
it's actually
Sangeli.
Just a picture of your face. You're like, oh, that's me.
No, it was pretty instant. They picked me out pretty quickly when I walked off the plane or walked out of the customs. But so I would have definitely, I think, brought Allison. I did actually bring a friend, and it wasn't actually planned. When my friend said he would come with me because we were already in Thailand at the time, coming back through Korea. That's why we stopped. He came with me, and I told him, I was like, you don't have to. That this is going to be probably emotional. This is going to be a family meeting. You don't have to do that unless you really want to. And he said, no, I want to just like to see Korea. I'd like to be there too and help out. And it was actually good because he did take some photos for us, like the family photos that we did, and then on top of that, he did the photos of when I visited the grave sites and paid my respects. So that I definitely would not have been able to take photos at the gravesite because I was a mess during that. So.
Yeah.
I wish. So my wife just walked in, and I want to say this because I think it's a good question, and I think that there are probably some listeners who are going to be like, "What? What are you trying to say? Like your spouse is like a burden, or your spouse is a distraction, or whatever?" And whatever, maybe jokingly, but I think there is like a real. This is probably too heavy of a metaphor, but I'm going to use it anyways. Like I think there's a lot to the adoption, post-apocalypse adoption journey where it feels like you're gonna step on a landmine, or maybe not even step on a landmine, but something's going to be dropped on your head, and you don't know if that something is going to be water. You don't know if it's going to be egg. You don't know if it's going to be confetti or rose petals, or or if anything's going to drop at all. You might have been like, oh, that's a false alarm. You may or may not have an umbrella. You don't know if that umbrella is going to do you any good. And so the question is really like, well, do you want to put someone else in that situation with you, or do you want to go it alone? In that sense of unknown, it could be something really positive. It could be something that does like potentially like is harmful to you or to you and the other person, if that person, you know what I mean? Like, and so I feel like I need to say that because it is like this thing I think that I felt the three of us express. It's just like there is a lot, and it's hard to express that in words, like just the danger of the unknown and its very real consequences that it may or may not have. And so do you want to have someone along with you for that? It's a big question. It's a good question, but I don't want it just to be like tossed away as like, oh, what you think your spouse is, right? All right, whatever.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't go either. If you decide that you don't want to go with your spouse, or your spouse doesn't want to go in general too, I don't want to say don't go, because I think going, everyone should be going if they really want to, and it shouldn't really matter if you, want. I don't know. How do I phrase this? I don't think you shouldn't go if your spouse doesn't want to go, I guess is kind of what I'm trying to say. Is like you should go because it's for you. But it was nice to have a possibility of a fallback system of some, someone comfortable, someone there as a safety net in a way. Even though my friend was there, he, I think I could have done it without him being there. But because, would have been I would have gone either way. And
Yeah.
I was planning on going either way. So
Well, I think that's the complexity of like this experience that we're going through. Like, it's hard enough to have those conversations and try to articulate what it is here at home, and just sit down and have that conversation and have it come out coherent and make sense. And like, and because, yeah, like you said, you're putting that on them now, and we're doing that here. And then I can only imagine what that would be like in Korea, trying to go through that, or wherever country of origin you're from and go back to. That's a lot. And yeah, I think that's the question that you have to ask yourself, and be willing to have the conversation with your partner as well, because, like, it's not like you should make the decision unilaterally. Like, oh, I'm going to go and I don't want you to go because X, Y, or Z. Like, you got to have the conversation first. And I think through having that, you can find your way to the articulate, coherent conversation surrounding this experience, which is few and far between, if I'm going to be honest, because it's a damn mess half the time when I'm trying to talk about stuff. So, yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think that's another reason we do the show, is because like we're happy to fumble around and try to do it in the safe space of the three of us.
Yeah,
so that hopefully when you need to have this crucial conversation with someone important in your life, you have at least a leg up, and you can do a little less like, what's happening in my brain, and a little bit more like, how do I communicate this effectively so that I don't inadvertently end up hurting someone or making someone else that, you know what I mean? Like, do relational damage to your So,
and just know that we have similar thoughts, and that other probably people have very similar thoughts as well, knowing that you're not alone in that. So,
how dare someone have the same thoughts as me?
Yikes.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
It's clear that we need a timeout after Patrick's vehemence towards other people who think like him. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into another Nongshim product.
Are we?
Yep, that's what it is. All right.
He's picking
Okay.
it.
BRB. Hello, friends. It is almost October 22nd, and that means it is almost time for the Janchi Show live show in Dallas, Texas. We're so excited. We've got a full day of events planned. We've got something in the morning. We got a food section. We got something in the evening, another food section, also a norebang session. So it's going to be a day full of events, and we would love for you to get your tickets at janchishow.com/live. That's JANCHI show.com/live. You can get further details about that. If you're coming in from out of town, we've got a hotel for you to stay out. If you're in Dallas, hit me up on social media and I will get you sectioned off tickets, because right now our form only sells tickets for the day. But if you're interested in just coming to a part of it, you don't want to spend the whole day with us, that's totally okay. I understand, but we want you there. The shows are open for anyone to come and hang out and learn more and enjoy the show and have a great time and all those kinds of things. So hit me up on social media. Head to janchishow.com/live to get your tickets. That's October 22nd in Dallas, or specifically Carrollton, Texas, near the K-Town area. Anyways, on with the show.
Welcome back to the Janchi Show food portion. Snacky snacks.
Huzzah!
Wow.
Welcome on back. Welcome on
We
back.
are feasting again with the Nongshim, not cracker, but Nongshim honey twist snack.
I like the
Sweet and delicious.
It sounds
I like the
very
bee.
crunchy.
who has honey for hair. Sorry for burping into the
what that is?
microphone.
He's been
sure.
bathing in it. Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's gotta be
got like
sticky.
an aviator,
He's got a little aviator
like an
cap.
old 1920,
Aw,
aviator cap.
that's cute.
I didn't translate it, but the Korean says "gur kwa begi." I don't know what it means.
Sweet and
but-
delicious.
Gur kwa
I don't know.
begi.
It's just my.
I mean, probably, but or it just says
Who
it means
knows?
honey, but I don't know.
These
This
straight up
is
look
a-
like crinkle cut fries.
This is an American style bag of chips because it's 350 calories for the whole bag. So
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
So there's a
I'll
lot
say
of honey
Korean
in it.
snacks normally about 100 calories in a bag like
You're
this.
right. Well,
It
sugar
smells
is
more
one of the-
savory than sweet.
Yeah, sugar is one of the top 5 ingredients. Rosemary extract. That's interesting.
Smells like something we've had before. Honey is a big thing in Korea, isn't it?
Honey crackers. I mean, like, it looks like crinkle cuts. It really does. Look at that.
Supposed to be twist.
Like a twisty.
It's roasty.
It is roasty.
Yeah, it's crunchy.
Roasty on the side of burnt, maybe?
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if I'm getting burnt.
But I know what you're saying. It's not burnt, but it's like the level right below burnt.
Actually, I
like
did kind of
honey-
get burnt right there.
Honey and sugar both have like such fine burning points, you know? Like it's like it doesn't take long. Like from what I've known from watching the Great British Baking Show, it's real easy to turn your sugar from caramel to just burned. Like just that like threading that needle. And a lot of this feels like it's a little close to the burn side, you know?
Yeah, I can get that. I'm getting that from on. Not bad, though.
Not bad. I'm getting 0 apple extract.
This is going to be a good thing for me to not eat a Pop-Tart tonight. So I'm going to give it points for that.
It has about as much apple flavor as Apple Jacks.
Yeah, that's fair. Were you going to eat a Pop-Tart tonight?
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
Interesting. All right.
Speaking of Apple Jacks, this is another snack that I almost want to put milk on. I don't know why.
I don't know.
No?
I was wondering if this could be dipped in something.
Yeah.
Maybe like
dipped in
a
something
cream.
or with like a milk.
Stick it in your ice cream.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
Nathan's like, give me a scoop of Brahms vanilla.
Yeah.
Brahms Boys, baby.
Brahms Boys,
My
baby.
parents are actually in Oklahoma right now, and they have had Brahms already. So, yeah, they rubbed it in yesterday.
Brahms Boys is such an unnecessary runner to the show.
I love it. It only pops in every once in a while.
But it goes all the way back to like episode 1. So.
It is, yeah. I wonder if that is episode 1. You just listen. You should know.
Yeah.
It's good. I appreciate that I don't get like, for as sweet as it feels, I don't get a lot of sticky residue on my fingers, which is great.
Same. Just a little bit of sugar crystals.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say that the taste is too sweet either. Being,
no,
you know,
savory.
I'm
Like
definitely going to eat this whole bag.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm eating
it's
this
not
whole
overly
bag for
sweet. And it's not overly crunchy. I mean, it is crunchy, but it's not like ripping up my mouth like Captain Crunch.
Does Captain Crunch destroy
Captain
your
Crunch
mouth?
rip your mouth?
Oh yeah, Captain Crunch
What?
destroys my gums.
What?
And my
What are
roof
you
of my
doing?
mouth.
Just bashing it up against your gums?
Don't you
It
guys
actually
chew with
puts it
your
in the
gums and the roof
freezer,
of your mouth?
And then it doesn't put it in any milk, so it never softens.
I swear, I leave it sitting
sounds
in
like you're
milk for
just-
30 minutes and it's still not soft.
It sounds like you're just taking your spoon and just bashing your gums when you go.
Yeah,
in
there's
to
not
eat.
even any Captain Crunch in there. It's just an empty
spoon.
bowl.
Come
His
on,
wife
when's the
and
last
kids
time you guys
are
had
so
Captain
worried
Crunch?
about him.
I mean-
I don't think I've ever had Captain Crunch.
I've had Captain Crunch, but I don't know the last time. It's been a long time.
Oh, see.
Been a
No, I
while.
did. It was probably 9. It was
Okay.
2 decades ago.
I feel like I had it last year, so I'm just saying.
Maybe
I'm just
it's
saying my
changed in 2
gums hurt
decades.
after eating it, so I don't know what that's about. Somebody listening, come on, back me up on
Maybe
this.
that's a sign you need to go to the dentist.
If no one backs you up, you need to go if no one backs you up, to the dentist.
Or just stop eating Captain Crunch, one or the other, I guess.
Sounds like you have stopped eating it.
Yeah,
Nope.
I have. Well,
He's like, no pain, no gain.
it's like I'm trying to toughen up my mouth.
He's like, I really like the taste
I
of
can eat
blood
glass.
in my cereal.
Nathan's going to start a Screamo band.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I eat glass for breakfast.
I eat glass for breakfast.
I watched that David Blaine special. I know how he does it. He trains on Captain Crunch.
Incredible.
Kidding. Don't eat glass, kids.
I
Don't eat glass,
for
he says.
breakfast and drink gold for
We
dinner.
have to put a disclaimer in here that says don't eat glass because
Don't eat
Nathan's
glass.
been
Or
promoted
nails.
a bunch.
All right.
Mm.
Well, let's jump into ratings. What do you give it out of 5, Patrick?
I'm giving this
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, which is a 4 in my mouth. I think it's better than half.
Okay.
But I don't think it's as good as full. So that's what makes it a 4. I don't know. I want like a little like cream, like Dunkaroos, like had the cream that you dipped it in. I want like that with this. And then I would give it a 5 probably.
Yeah. I mean, when you said ice cream, that just makes me want to go get ice cream next. But yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'll give it a 4. It's crunchy. It's tasty. It's not too sweet. Don't know what would bump it up to 5. Maybe a little cinnamon. I don't know. Maybe a little more apple flavor.
Just go get some Apple Jacks.
Maybe some ice cream comes with ice cream.
Some ice cream. If it came with ice cream, though, it would be like that weird cold stuff. And be like, how does this work? You know what? I don't want to know. Yeah, so Nongshim, I feel like Nongshim in particular, Nongshim crackers do this thing where they don't have a ton of flavor, but also I can't stop eating them because the way they finish immediately makes me want to put more of them in my mouth. I don't know if they've just like mastered mouthfeel. I don't know if it's a way they've flavored their products, whatever. Because shrimp crackers is the same thing.
Yeah.
Where like I'm like I just destroy a whole bag, just not even thinking about it. Right? I don't know. It's really impressive. So I am going to give this a 4.5 because I expected it to be good, not great, and it's really beating my expectation. I don't know that it's really hard for me to give a sweets a 5.
Right.
But this is really good. 4.5 is definitely what it's going to be for me.
Look at that. KJ coming in the highest of the 3.
It's just really good. And I think it's because it's not too sweet. That burn flavor thing that I noticed, like initially, I don't notice anymore. Like, I don't know. I'm fully on board this honey twist snack by Nongshim. So,
he's here for it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You can buy them in bigger bags.
Patrick, how should people submit their answer about whether or not Captain Crunch destroys their gums to the Janchi Show?
For people who are wanting to share whether or not Captain Crunch destroys their gums, can do so on any of the social media platforms by tagging us at Janchi Show. They can also do it by sending us an email to janchishow@justlikemedia.com. And if they really want to, they can leave us a voicemail and tell us how they really feel at 972-677-8867. So that would be cool. If they really, really wanted to, they could go on to any of the podcast platforms that allow you to leave reviews and ratings and leave us a rating and potentially a review that also says, "This Captain Crunch made my gums bleed."
It doesn't even have to be about a show. Just drop us a 5-star review and just says, "This Captain Crunch destroyed my mouth."
Exactly. We would love to see that. Actually, there is one other way that they can do that. They can come meet us in 2 weeks at Carrollton, not Dallas, but maybe kind of Dallas, for our live show. And they can tell us to our faces, "Yeah, Captain Crunch bloodies my gums, bud." Buds, because there's 3 of us.
October 22nd.
October 22nd. You can go to janchishow.com/live right now to register for the show and purchase your ticket. We're going to have 2 separate live shows. We're going to have a little bit of fun stuff going on in the middle there, a little bit of fun stuff going on afterwards, including dinner, including Noribang. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to be there. KJ's going to be there. Nathan's going to be there. And Sarah's going to be there. Voice of the show, Sarah Relke is going to be there. And we're
great.
Maybe more honey twist snacks will be there.
I know how this works. It's fine.
Okay, great. Other than that, I think that's it, right? Is that it? Where can they find you guys at?
And No Walk on Instagram and Nathan No Walk on Facebook.
Also in the Facebook after party.
In the after party.
And in the party.
Specifically the Janchi Show after party, which is a Facebook group that we created. Keep the conversation rolling. Hence the name after party. You can find me at KJ Relke, wherever I want to be found on the internet.
And you can find me at Patrick in the World on Instagram and also pretty much wherever else I want to be found on the internet as well. All right, we did it again. 104 times.
We did it again. We'll see you soon, everyone, in Dallas area. Until next week, Janchi, heyo.
Crunchy.
Have fun in Korea, Patrick.
Oh, thank you.
JK, you're already there.
Bye.